I'd like to call to order the City Caucus meeting for Monday, December 23rd, 2024. We have 18 items for original consideration and 3 for unanimous consent. If the clerk would please read.
Item number 1 for final consideration. An ordinance to amend Section 138-2C of Article 1, 138-23B of Article 4, 138-43B of Article 8, 138-84H of Article 15 of Chapter 138, 151-9A of Article 2, 151-9E of Article 2 of Chapter 151, 167-14D of Article 2 of Chapter 167, 183-10 of Article 2, Chapter 183, 210-14A of Article 3 of Chapter 210 of the Schenectady City Code related to building code fees.
Mr. Williams?
I'd like to make a motion to have this item returned back to the council meeting for further consideration.
Okay, so you're asking for it to be returned to committee. I need a second on that.
Second.
Okay, we need a roll call right now.
Which item is that, Madam
Item number
President?
one. Do we need a roll call right now? Or wait till
After.
Okay, item number 2.
Item number 2 for final consideration, a resolution amending the building code fee schedule as authorized by Section 13717 of Chapter 137.
Sorry, that was moved and seconded. Was it roll call?
Oh,
on that?
no,
So
we
we-
got, she said you do want to, we're going to roll call it later. Okay, with the items for roll call. Go ahead.
Amending the building code fee schedule as authorized by Section 13717 of Chapter 137 of the Schenectady City Code and Sections 13821 and 13811.1, Article 4 of Chapter 138 of the Schenectady City Code.
Yes, Mr. Williams?
I would like to make another consideration to have this item returned back to our council for further consideration as well.
All right, these are related items, so I need a second on that.
Second.
We will do a roll call. Item number 3.
Item number 3 for original consideration, a resolution calling for a public hearing to amend certain section of the Schenectady City Code, Chapter 248, regarding setting citywide speed limit at 25 miles per hour.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Item number 4.
Item number 4 for original consideration, a resolution accepting a grant from Metroplex Development Authority for the Broadway corridor improvement.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Item number 5.
Item number 5 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing a license to Metroplex for the Alco Heritage Trail Extension Project.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 6.
Item number 6 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the USTA Eastern for rehabilitation to city tennis facilities.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 7.
Item number 7 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the implementation and funding of the first instant 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefor.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 8.
Item number 8 for original consideration, a resolution accepting a proposal to operate the Schenectady Municipal Golf Course concession.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 9.
Item number 9 for original consideration, a resolution amending Resolution 224-246, 2024-246 for the sale of a property located at 461 Hewlett Street.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 10.
Item number 10, under original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of a vacant lot located at 16 Grove Place for $6,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 11.
Item number 11 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 543 Mumford Street for $5,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 12.
Item number 12 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of a vacant lot located at 756 Cutler Street for $1,750.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 13.
Item number 13 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 946 Davis Terrace for $35,000.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 14.
Item number 14, under contract and supply, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a purchase order for chlorine gas 2025.
Discussed in committee without objection on consent. Item number 15.
Item number 15, under contract and supply, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a purchase order for hydrofluosilicic acid 2025.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Item number 16.
Item number 16, under contract and supply, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a purchase order for liquid sodium bisulfate 2025.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Item number 17.
Item number 17, under contract and supply, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a purchase order for sodium hypochlorite 2025.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Item number 18.
Item number 18, under contract and supply, a resolution awarding the bid and contract for the Grant Park improvements to Carver Construction Incorporated in the amount of $643,145.
Discussed in committee without objection and on consent. Items number 18A through C will be a roll call. If the clerk would please read.
Item number 18A for unanimous consent, a resolution amending resolution number 2022-224 to modify the amount of funds for Cocoa House.
I need a motion to move for, right? Or do we need it for? Yes. Move to the consent agenda. Need a motion to move it to the consent agenda. Oh, Mr. Mudavaren,
Before we this to the consent agenda, I would like to
could you stand, please?
submit a motion for us to hold these three items, or one item, consider all three, because they're A, B, and C,
Mm-hmm.
and move them to a special city council meeting to discuss them further, and to address the agency concern and our concern in terms of how we address this going forward.
Mm-hmm. I need a second on that motion. Second to Ms. Patrick. Okay, we will have a roll call on that item, and we're going to still go through the other items because they are on the agenda. So item number 18B.
Item number 18B, under unanimous consent, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a plow truck.
Same here, I would like to hold this item, call for a special city council meeting, and to discuss this item.
Okay. I need a second. Second, thank you. Item number 18C.
Item number 18C, under unanimous consent, a resolution allocating $140,000 in ARPA funding for the 2025 Summer Youth Employment Program.
Mr. Mudavaren.
Same here, I would like to ask a motion to hold this item for a special city council meeting and further discuss them.
I need a second. Second by Ms. Patrick. Okay, we will have a roll call on on that as well. If there's nothing else to come before the city caucus, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So,
Moved by Mr. Mudavaren, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. I'd like to call the city council meeting to order for Monday, December 23rd, 2024. And I'd like to call on Councilman Williams to offer prayer.
Will everyone please bow their heads? Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today and we just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the blessings you continue to bestow upon each of us and for our community collectively. As we continue through our holiday season and welcome in a new year, I ask that you continue to place upon us a peaceful heart and a charitable heart. There are many of us throughout the city that do not have and are less fortunate, and ask that as we continue to be servants pushing forward your goodwill, that we remember those who do not have as we continue forward. As we continue the business throughout the city, I just ask that you give us, you relax our tongues and you order our steps so that we are able to do the best work for the residents of the city of Schenectady. And it is with these blessings that I ask before you. Amen.
Amen. Mayor, I'd like to call on the mayor to lead the pledge.
I pledge allegiance
Thank you. I'll ask for approval of the minutes for December 9th, 2024, and December 13th, 2024. Approval of the minutes. Moved by Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Mudavaren. All in favor? Aye. I'd ask the clerk to read any communications and petitions.
Communications presented to the City Council for Monday, December 23rd, 2024. Under official, there were none. Under general, there were none. And under petitions, there were none.
Is going to send a text in regards to this.
I'd ask, call on council members to provide any committee reports. Okay. This time, we'll have privilege of the floor related to the legislative agenda. So just to be clear, anything for the legislative agenda is what's on here. So I know, Mr. Rivas, you've signed up for city business. However, if you want to speak to something that's on the agenda, you can speak to it at this time.
Madam President, Mayor McCarthy, City Council. First, I kind of want to thank you guys. I know this ARPA process has been kind of daunting for everyone. Really what I just want to address is, at Cocoa House, we really just tried to do our best to abide by the process. There was a lot of miscommunication at the very beginning, so for the first 5 months, we didn't utilize almost any of our funds because it was communicated that we couldn't without raising a large amount of money up front. I became more involved in the process because our board president and CFO, Robert, became very ill, and he had to step down. In June, when I began meeting with the I believe it was Mitch Grossman and Denise Brucker, what was explained to me was that we have the entirety of the 3 years to utilize the entirety of the $500,000, the ARPA. So we scheduled it out as that. The thing is, from the very beginning, in the ARPA contract, it was allocated from my salary to be increased to $70,000, which I opted to not take until we hired staff from the community first. So for the entirety of the beginning of the contract until now, I have opted to not be paid the amount that was allocated in the ARPA because I want to make sure we took care of the community first. It was recently just brought to my attention, like literally within the last few days, that the ARPA contract, I guess it's supposed to end, the allocation is supposed to end on the 31st. That's not what was explained to us. So we have hired staff, as we spoke about. We do have resumes to hire more staff continuously. So I spoke with Alexandria earlier, so I guess the conversation is I would just like for somebody to really explain, is it the full 3 years for the contract, or is it a yearly contract? Because I've been given basically two different explanations. Now, based on my conversation with Alexandria earlier, I did speak to my board, and if the contract itself ends at a 1-year glance on the 31st, then me and my board have had the conversation about possibly allowing some money to go back into the pot if it's necessary. But if the allocation is for the total 3 years, then is that what's supposed to happen? Because there's been two totally different conversations with me. So I thank you guys, first off. I don't want to see like in any way like I'm trying to be not appreciative. I appreciate the allocation and our ability. We just hired a young man from the community, 21-year-old, who is being able to make a sustainable living wage for himself. This is what we want to be able to do with the ARPA, but there's been a lot of confusion about the timeline and how we're able to use it. Either way, myself and my board are committed to making a decision and working with the city as to what works best for everyone. But I think we just have to have some very clear communication and dialogue and have some timelines and some things spelled out for what's necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no one else signed up to speak, so I declare the public comment on the legislative agenda closed. This time, I ask for approval of the legislative consent agenda.
So,
Moved by Mr. Matuvaran, second by Mr. Mancini. All those in favor? Aye. We have 5 items for a roll call. Let's see, if the clerk could please read item number 1. This will be a roll call to return this item to committee for further discussion.
Item number 1 for final consideration, an ordinance to amend section 138(2)(c) of Article 1, 138(23)(b) of Article 4, 138(43)(b) of Article 8, 138(84)(h) of Article 15 of Chapter 138, 151(9)(a) of Article 2, 151(9)(e) of Article 2 of Chapter 151, 167(14)(d) of Article 2 of Chapter 167, 183(10) of Article 2 of Chapter 183, 210-14A of Article 3 of Chapter 210 of the Schenectady City Code related to building code fees.
This item was, I need a motion in city, moved by Mr. Williams, second by Mr. Mudavaren. Okay, is there any discussion on this item before we have the roll call? Mr. Williams?
Thank you. So during our committee meetings, we had a lot of discussion around this particular item with respect to raising some code fees. And my hesitation with proceeding centers around wanting to make sure we are putting in place appropriate workflow adjustments rather than relying on increases with our fees alone. Similar to the stance I took with waste and water in previous budgets, I want to ensure that prior to us putting in place additional raises monetarily, I want to ensure that our operations reflect the best practices. This is not a condemnation of anything that's happening within the code department. However, based on my seat, I feel it is best appropriate to ensure that prior to us putting in place additional monetary fees, that we again are evaluating other measures prior to doing that.
All right. Any further discussion? Ms. Patrick?
I thought when we voted that what we were voting was to have further discussion at an upcoming committee meeting on this item and the next one.
Right, so yes, that is what we're voting on right now.
Okay.
So to take it back to committee,
Okay.
not to vote it out tonight, but to take it back to committee for further discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there any other questions or further discussion? If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley is not here. Mr. Mancini?
Yes.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. The motion passes 5-1. Item number 2 for roll call.
Item number 2 for final consideration, a resolution amending the building code fee as authorized by Section 13717 of Chapter 137 of the Schenectady City Code and Sections 13821 and 13811.1, Article 4 of Chapter 138 of the Schenectady City Code.
Motion by Mr. Mutavaren, second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion on this item? None? Okay. Ask for a roll call, please.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley is absent. Mr. Mancini? Yes. Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Both these items will be, the motion passes 5-1. Both of these items will be returned to committee. Okay, the next 3 items are to ask to remove these items from the agenda. Is that what you're asking for, Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
And have a special meeting for discussion. If the clerk, okay, thank you. The clerk would please read the items.
Item 18A, under unanimous consent, a resolution amending resolution number 224-224 to modify the amount of funds for Cocoa House.
Motion?
So
Second by Mr. Williams. Okay, clerk would please call the roll?
Mr. Toro? Yes. Mr. Farley is absent. Mr. Mancini?
yes.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes. Item number 18B.
Item number 18B, for unanimous consent, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a plow truck.
I need a motion to return this.
So
It's moved by Mr. Mudavaren, second by Mr. Williams. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Mr. Toro? No. Mr. Farley is absent. Mr. Mancini?
yes.
Mr. Mutavaren?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? No. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes, the item passes 4-2. And I'm sorry, item number 18A passed 5-1. Or I'm sorry, Ms. 6. Item passed unanimously on 18A. Item number 18C.
Item number 18C, under unanimous consent, a resolution allocating $140,000 in ARPA funding for the 2025 Summer Youth Employment Program.
Motion.
So,
Second by Ms. Patrick. If the clerk would please call the roll.
Ms. Satoro? Yes. Mr. Farley is absent. Mr. Mancini?
yes.
Mr. Mutavarian?
Yes.
Ms. Patrick? Yes. Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Porterfield?
Yes, item passes 6-0. Thank you. And these items will be returned to committee. We will call a special city council committee meeting because these are time-sensitive items, and so the meeting will be given the 3-day notice for the meeting. This time we'll have privilege of the floor related to general city business. I have one person signed up to speak, Tom Kennedy.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, City Council. Excuse me. Sorry. Been fighting the ravages of a type flu A, so I won't get too close to this. In fact, I'm going to step back. Everybody can hear me anyway. I stand tonight to talk about ARPA. I'm getting tired of talking about ARPA from up here, but once again, it just shows this has been a sham from the beginning. The first day that you guys dealt with this, you didn't deal with the recommendations from the committees that did hard work on this. In fact, the first day, if you go back and take a look at it, was horse trading across the table. Everybody had their own proposals, everybody was getting done, and I believe Cocoa House was one of them. And it's kind of ironic that we're here tonight talking about Cocoa House again. This thing has been all over the map. Went to buildings, and then it changed, and then it went to salaries, and now we're talking about tonight where they're taking funds back from this thing. But that's not the only one. But what the city residents have looked at is you guys burned through millions of dollars, and yet tonight we're still arguing about stuff like this, going back to the thing. It's been inconsistent. Many people it's been, and I've said up here, it's been corrupt because if you go back and take a look at all the funds that were talked about the first night, many of those things were put out. And again, one of them was Cocoa House. We still haven't found out what's going on with Duryea. That thing's been all over the map as well. These are millions of dollars. So the bottom line is that we're going to have to take a look at this when you guys ever get done with it. And we're going to have to go through these different proposals. But as far as I'm concerned, the city did not get the bang for the buck over ARPA. And quite honestly, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves, because you guys could have done some major things in our city that could have helped our city become a better city, better for the taxpayers, better for the kids. And so I'm going to reserve what I wanted to say about these other ones when you have your special council meeting. But I just wanted to say that it's unfortunate that this council didn't take advantage of what it could have happened. And I do appreciate the golf course because that's a moneymaker for the city. And the pool. The pool is something that the city should be very proud of, because a lot of kids use it. I went up there just to watch the kids, and should be very, very proud of that pool. So other than that, missed opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, all right. We didn't take attendance.
Nothing counts.
Okay, so Ms. Michael would call the roll.
Ms. Toro? Mr. Farley is absent. Mr. Mancini?
Here.
Mr. Mutavarian?
Present.
Ms. Patrick? Mr. Williams? Ms. Porterfield?
Here. Okay, so I have no one else signed up to speak for the public comment of city business, so I declare it closed. Any miscellaneous business from council members? Ms. Patrick? Mr.
Thank you.
Williams?
I want to just take a quick moment to just wish everyone throughout our city and our neighboring cities happy holidays as we close out 2024. There's definitely a lot to be thankful for, and I ask that as everyone makes their resolutions, you do so with a generous heart and mind. And I also wanted to take a moment to, as we welcome in this really cold weather, that as we bundle up and stay indoors, there are a lot of occupations that do their work outside for the benefit of each of us. Of those, to name a few, are EMS workers, our utility service response teams, and I had another one that escapes me, but I just wanted to give all of them, and our city employees that are responding to removing snow removal and also still taking trash out on a daily basis. I sincerely wanted to say thank you for all that you do on a day in, day out basis. It is not missed on me. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Patrick?
Thank you. I want to wish everyone happy holidays this week. It's been a very challenging 2024, both really in our country and in the world. Lots of conflict. I wish for everyone that 2025, that there's more peace in the world, that there's a lot of joy in our own homes and locally. And I wish that everybody would have good holidays. I also want to say it's pretty dark outside at night, and I really would encourage people, if you're out at night on bicycles or walking, to please wear some sort of reflective something so that folks see you as they're driving down the streets. I hope everybody stays safe over the next several days, with driving and enjoying your celebrations, and just, again, wish everyone happy holidays.
Mr. Toro?
Thank you. I'd just like to take a moment to express my gratitude to Mayor McCarthy and draw attention to our new trash receptacles throughout the city. They're all over Erie Boulevard, State Street, and they're attractive, compact, and they're being used frequently. When I walk my dog, I do use them frequently by the pedestrians in our neighborhoods, which contributes, which our goal was for a cleaner and more welcoming streets. The initiative does trace back to, it starts with Me Litter campaign, a project launched in collaboration with Councilwoman Patrick, myself, and former Councilman Palameni. Seeing the positive impact of this effort in our community is truly rewarding. And then I'd like to just add, as we approach the holiday season, I extend my heartfelt blessings to all. Whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or another cherished tradition, may the season bring each of you joy, and may the new year be filled with health and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mutivaran?
Thank you. Like my colleagues, I would like to wish my colleagues, our city staff, and our resident Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whoever is celebrating. It's that time of giving, so I encourage our residents, our colleagues, and everybody here to please consider your neighbor, consider the less fortunate. And in time of cold weather, please reach out to our neighbors, our seniors, and to make sure somebody make a phone call and make sure that they're okay in this time of giving. And yes, this is a year we have to be thankful, especially on the City Council. I want to thank my colleagues for us working together despite the fact that sometimes we don't see eye to eye, which is a good thing, so that we express our opinion, we respect each other's, which is a wonderful thing that we carry this entire year, and I'm so proud of what we are doing, and I wish that we all continue to do the same into next year and beyond. So once again, happy holidays to everyone, and please go there, enjoy, and have some good times with your family and friends.
Oh, Mr. Mancini?
I want to take this time as concluding my first year as a city councilman, and it's been an honor for me for this year, and thank the mayor, the council president, all that serve the city workers for all the hard work they do. From my first year here, I've really gotten to see the dedication and hard work from the city staff and the leadership of the city. It's been fairly impressive for me. Just want to wish all the residents a happy and safe holiday season, to take this time to reflect with your family and loved ones. Take those areas that didn't go so well and put those in the past and move forward next year with a new future for all of us. I look forward to continuing my work here with the city and want to thank everyone for everything you all do.
Thank you. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Councilman Mancini, the ugly sweater contest was Friday afternoon here at City Hall. So but I too want to wish everyone holiday greetings from the city. Whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever your faith may be, to enjoy your family, friends, the good things that we have going on in the community. We're truly fortunate because of that. At the same time, we've gotten a couple little snowstorms. We may get a little bit of snow tonight. It's going to be on the low end, but I encourage people, one shovel on each side of a fire hydrant if we get a little bit more snow to keep it clear. In the unlikely event the fire department has to access it, it's ready and able. And with the temperatures dropping to below zero, and there is not much snow cover, the frost will go in the ground, and people should be cognizant of their pipes freezing up. And if you have a pipe that's on an outside wall or a fixture, just leaving it on a little so that it will drip will keep it going and keep it from freezing. So some of those small precautions can save you big expense and a lot of headache if you have to go through an unfortunate situation with burst pipe. But thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that came out this evening to speak on whatever city business. Appreciate your input and providing information that maybe we had not had before. I'm sorry the gentleman left, but I did want to speak to his comments regarding ARPA. However, what I'm going to do is just put together a full report on how the ARPA money was spent. And so for people to say things like corrupt and we were, helping our friends, et cetera, none of which is true. So community organizations that do good work deserve to be funded. So I will take it upon myself to, with getting the information from finance and just putting together a report and showing how actually that money was spent within the city as well. As a matter of fact, the majority of it actually was spent within the city and not on the community projects. But people want to put on the face of it so it looks a certain way, which is not true. But the numbers will speak for themselves, so that's what will happen. So as we're ending this year on a still one more meeting note, just by the way, we're going to have that special meeting. So, but as we have this actual public meeting with the City Council here, I just want to thank everyone, first of all, for all your work all year long, for your considerations on the legislation that has come before you, for giving it, for those of you who really gave it thoughtful process as we moved forward. And I'm looking forward to us for the next year as we move forward and to, again, pass some meaningful legislation. ARPA did take a lot of our time because it was money that we, first of all, did not expect, and secondly, had to be expended within a certain time frame. So I know there's much more work to be done, and that I believe that this council is up to doing it. So I look forward to that. I'd like to wish a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, or whatever celebration that individuals celebrate, to the council members, to the city staff, and to our residents at large. Thank you very much for your time and your effort. And with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Oh, maybe I can say Happy New Year right now, because we only have a special meeting and not another council meeting on the 30th. We don't have another council meeting before the New Year. So I could say Happy New Year as well. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ms. Patrick, second by Mr. Williams. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Have a good night. 34. A little slower. Are you going to be around for a while? Or are you headed straight out the door?